No one in the galaxy remembered a time before the Empire. The Empire's flag flew over 1,000 worlds. From cold, dark moons to green and golden planets, every species followed the rules set by the Galactic Emperor. Even the bravest leaders from alien worlds never dared to refuse a command, because everyone knew what happened to those who tried. High above a small blue world called Earth, an Imperial dreadnought floated in orbit. It was bigger than any human city, and its hull shone with polished metal. Its guns could destroy a mountain. The people inside it wore uniforms as black as space, with silver stripes on their arms. Every alien officer, no matter their species, stood straighter when the Emperor's symbol appeared on their screens. One morning, the dreadnought received orders from the Emperor himself. "Earth must join the Empire," said the message. "Send a demand for their loyalty and resources. If they refuse, remind them of our power." Captain Varlock, a tall alien with deep blue skin, nodded at his officers. "Prepare the message. Show them who rules the galaxy." Down on Earth, in a room full of screens and humming computers, a group of human leaders read the Empire's message. It was written in simple, cold words. "To the people of Earth, you are now subjects of the Galactic Empire. You will send your resources, metals, food, and knowledge to our central worlds. You will follow our laws. If you do not obey, your planet will be punished as others have been before." The room fell silent for a moment. One older man shook his head. "They think they can just order us around," he said quietly. A younger woman looked at the screens showing pictures of the dreadnought. She could see the huge shadow it cast over the planet. "Their ship is big," she whispered. "But do they really know us?" Soon, the world heard the Empire's message. Some people felt afraid, some were angry. But everywhere, a new feeling spread: stubbornness. Earth had been threatened before by dangers, wars, disasters, and even its own mistakes. Humans argued with each other, but when someone from outside tried to take what was theirs, they remembered what it meant to stand together. A council of leaders met in a small room under the city. There were generals, scientists, and even a young engineer who worked on old spaceships. The leader of the council, an older woman with sharp eyes, listened to every opinion. "We cannot match their power," a general said. "If we fight, we might lose everything." The engineer cleared his throat. "But if we give up now, we lose something greater. We lose our freedom. Isn't that worth fighting for?" In the end, the council voted. It was not a vote to attack or to surrender, but to answer with honesty and courage. They would not kneel. The engineer was chosen to write the message. His hands shook, but his words were strong. "To the Galactic Empire, the people of Earth thank you for your message. But we will not join you. We will not send our resources, and we will not obey your laws. We are willing to talk, but we will never give up our freedom. If you wish to visit us in peace, you are welcome. If you come with threats, you will find that Earth does not bow." The message was sent into space. Some on Earth waited in fear, thinking the Empire would destroy them right away. Others stood tall, proud that someone had finally said no. On the Imperial dreadnought, Captain Varlock listened to the human reply. His officers were shocked. One asked, "Should we prepare the weapons, Captain?" Varlock stared at the words on his screen. He had been in the Empire's service for many years, and he had seen many worlds break under the Empire's rule. No one had ever answered this way. "Not yet," he said slowly. "Send a report to the Emperor. Tell him Earth has refused." Across the galaxy, news spread faster than light. In smoky alien bars and on shining palace floors, everyone whispered about the humans. "They refused?" asked a feathered diplomat on a distant world. "No one does that," said a scaled merchant who had once seen his home burned for less. The Empire's governors met in secret, wondering if the Emperor would crush Earth the way he had crushed others. Some believed the humans were foolish. Some believed they were brave. A few, deep in their hearts, hoped that maybe this time the Empire would not win so easily. On Earth, life changed in small ways. Parents hugged their children tighter, worried about what might happen. Soldiers checked their old weapons. Scientists and engineers worked late into the night, talking about ways to defend the planet if it came to war. The young engineer who wrote the message felt a strange mix of pride and fear. He saw people coming together, old arguments forgotten. Everyone knew the danger, but they also remembered something older, the stubborn hope that had helped humans survive every challenge. Days passed. The Empire sent another message, this one colder and more direct. Earth, you have made a mistake. We will send envoys. Obey or be punished. The council met again. They debated for hours. Some wanted to try and make peace, to avoid war. Others believed the Empire would never accept a free world. Finally, they agreed to meet the Empire's envoys, but only if they could speak as equals. The day the Imperial envoys arrived was cloudy and cold. They came in a small, sharp-edged shuttle wearing shining black armor. When they stepped onto Earth's soil, they looked around with narrow eyes, expecting fear. Instead, they found a line of human leaders waiting to greet them, standing side by side. The older woman at the front stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth," she said. Her voice was steady, her eyes bright. "You may deliver your message." The lead envoy spoke in a deep, echoing voice. "The Emperor demands your loyalty. This is your last chance." The humans did not flinch. The engineer spoke up, surprising even his own council. "We respect your strength, but we do not fear you. We wish to be friends, not subjects. If you must attack us, you will find we do not surrender." The envoys returned to their shuttle, anger and surprise clear on their faces. As they left, the young engineer looked up at the sky and wondered what would happen next. But he was not alone. All over the planet, people were watching, waiting, and hoping. For the first time in many generations, the Empire had met a world that did not obey. And in the darkness between the stars, change was coming. In the days that followed, tension wrapped around Earth like a thick, invisible blanket. People everywhere waited for the Empire's answer. Some checked the news every hour, others tried to live normally, but nobody could ignore the fear or the hope. Rumors spread faster than facts. Some said the Empire would attack before sunrise. Others believed there would be peace talks. No one truly knew, not even the Council of Earth's leaders. On the Imperial Dreadnought, Captain Varlock walked through cold metal halls. He had faced many enemies in his life, but none as unpredictable as humans. Every officer whispered about Earth's refusal. Some laughed, thinking the humans were only delaying the inevitable. Others worried the Empire's pride had finally met its match. The Emperor's reply was swift and direct. "Send the envoys again. Make Earth understand what happens to those who refuse us. If they still disobey, prepare the fleet for punishment." The new Imperial envoys arrived, more serious and more confident than before. This time they came not just as messengers, but as judges. Their shuttle landed at Earth's main spaceport, its engines howling. Crowds gathered to watch, standing behind lines of human soldiers. News cameras flashed, broadcasting every moment across the world, and secretly to alien worlds as well. The Human Council welcomed the envoys in a tall glass building by the ocean. The sky was gray and waves crashed against the shore outside. Inside, the room was filled with tension so thick it was hard to breathe. The older woman who led the council, with her sharp eyes and strong voice, greeted the Imperial team politely. The lead envoy wasted no time. He spoke with a cold certainty. "The Galactic Empire has ruled for thousands of years. Every world that tried to fight us has fallen. Do you truly wish to bring destruction to your own people? The council listened quietly. The young engineer, now famous for his bold message, watched the envoy's face closely. When the envoy finished, the room was silent. Finally, the older woman spoke. "We do not wish for war, but we will not surrender. You say every world has fallen. Perhaps it's time for one to stand." The imperial envoys glared. "You are making a mistake. The Empire does not forgive. Our patience is not endless." A general at the table leaned forward, his voice calm. "Maybe your patience is ending, but ours is just beginning." The meeting continued for hours. The envoys listed punishments the Empire had given other worlds: ruined cities, empty farms, vanished leaders. They described weapons that could flatten mountains and storms that could block out the sun. Their words were meant to scare, but the humans listened with steady faces. When the envoys tried to threaten Earth with examples, the engineer finally spoke. "If you use fear to control others, how long before someone stops being afraid? Maybe it starts with us." The imperial envoys left in anger, their threats echoing in the halls. Outside, the news spread quickly. Some humans were frightened by the stories of destruction. Others grew even more determined. For the first time, humans and aliens everywhere saw that Earth's answer was not changing. In secret, the council met again. The older woman spoke first. "They will attack. It's only a matter of time." The general agreed. "We need to prepare, but not just with weapons. We must show them we are more than just another world to conquer." The engineer thought about it all night. When he returned, he had an idea. "Let's send a message, not to the Empire, but to the galaxy. Let's tell everyone what is happening here. Maybe we are not the only ones who want to be free." Council agreed. They recorded a simple video. Leaders of Earth stood together, speaking clearly. "We do not hate the Empire, but we will not give up our freedom. If you on other worlds feel the same, you are not alone." They sent the message into space. Satellites carried it on hidden channels. Within hours, aliens from distant worlds began to listen. Some sent short replies, secret messages of hope or fear. On a water planet far away, a small group of rebels watched the video and wondered if they too could stand up. Meanwhile, the Empire's dreadnought began to move. Engines fired up. Smaller warships joined it, each with weapons ready. Captain Varlock stood on the bridge, looking out at the blue and green planet below. He knew Earth would not be an easy target, but he trusted the Empire's strength. On Earth, the military prepared old defenses. Pilots checked dusty fighters. Hackers worked on shields and secret programs to block the Empire's systems. Engineers, led by the same young man who wrote the first reply, gathered in underground. Labs, building tools, and traps the Empire would never expect. In a quiet corner of the planet, a group of friends watched the sky at night. They saw flashes of light, Imperial ships moving into position. "Do you think we'll survive?" one whispered. Another shook his head. "Maybe not, but at least we'll be remembered for standing." Soon the Empire sent one final warning. This time, it was broadcast for all to hear. "Earth, this is your last chance. Kneel or be destroyed." The Council answered with a simple, united voice, "We choose freedom." The Empire's fleet moved into attack formation. Dreadnoughts cast huge shadows over cities and oceans. Every world watched, holding its breath. Even the Emperor's advisors were uneasy. "What if they win?" whispered one, though none dared. "Say it loudly." As the sun set, the first shot was fired, not by the Empire, but by Earth's defenders. A small missile streaked up from the ground, weaving past the Empire's shields. It struck a warship, and to everyone's surprise, the huge ship powered down. Human hackers had slipped a virus into the Empire's controls. Chaos spread through the fleet. Captain Varlock roared for order, but his ships were already struggling. Earth's fighters, old but quick, zipped through the confusion, hitting targets and disappearing into clouds. Human soldiers worked together, with skill and bravery, using every trick they had learned in years of struggle and invention. People across Earth watched on screens as their defenders held the line. Every success was met with cheers, every loss with silence and determination. No one gave up. Above the clouds, the Empire's warships fired back, sending bolts of energy into forests and seas. But each time they thought they had won, a new trick stopped them, hacked systems, jamming signals, unexpected attacks. It was not easy, and many feared the battle would soon turn. In the midst of the chaos, a message appeared on screens across the galaxy, a message from Earth's engineer. We fight because we believe in freedom, not just for ourselves, but for all. If you are out there, do not lose hope. Aliens on distant worlds watched, some with hope, others with disbelief. Never before had anyone seen a world stand so boldly. The Empire's legend of invincibility was breaking piece by piece. When night finally fell on Earth, the battle still raged above. No one knew what tomorrow would bring, but across Earth and across the stars, a single truth had taken root. Someone had finally dared to disobey the Galactic Empire, and they were still standing. As dawn broke over Earth, a strange quiet filled the sky. In some places, there were dark marks where the Empire's weapons had struck. But in many cities, the buildings still stood strong, and the people refused to hide. Families gathered around screens, watching news from every part of the world. Everyone wanted to know, were they still free? Or had the Empire already won? In the darkness above the clouds, the Empire's fleet was in trouble. The mighty dreadnought floated silently, its weapons frozen by the virus sent by Earth's hackers. Smaller Imperial ships tried to form new lines, but confusion spread among the alien officers. They were used to easy battles, not clever tricks or stubborn resistance. Captain Varlock watched his screens, his hands shaking with anger. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. One of his officers, a lizard-like alien, stuttered, "Their attacks are different. They do not follow our rules. We cannot predict them." On Earth, the Council of Leaders met again in the underground room. The older woman, still calm but tired, listened to reports. The engineer who had sent the first messages was now busy helping the hackers and tech teams. "The Empire will fix their systems soon," he warned. "We need to act before they recover," the general agreed. "Let's use our best pilots and teams. If we hit their supply ships and disrupt their plans, we can keep them off balance." Small teams of human pilots took to the sky in old but fast jets. Some used stealth planes, hidden from the Empire's sensors. Others used new tricks, like flying close to the ground to stay under the radar. They attacked the Empire's supply, shuttles and targeted fuel depots floating just above Earth's atmosphere. Explosions lit up the sky, and every time a human fighter made it back home, people cheered. The Empire tried to respond. Imperial ships fired powerful beams into the clouds, but the humans stayed one step ahead. Ground teams set up fake bases and signal jammers. Some even hacked into the Empire's communication network, sending out fake orders that confused the enemy even more. On distant worlds, aliens watched these battles in secret. A young girl on a water world whispered to her father, "Do you think we could fight the Empire too?" The father, once afraid, now wondered if it was possible. As the day went on, the Empire finally managed to break the hackers' virus. Systems came back online, and the dreadnought's guns powered up. Captain Varlock, furious, ordered a full attack on Earth's main cities. "Show them what it means to resist," he shouted. Giant beams of energy fired from the Imperial ships, lighting up the sky. Buildings shook, and alarms wailed in every city. But the humans did not run. Rescue teams rushed out to save people trapped in the rubble. Engineers worked together to repair power lines and keep communication open. Volunteers handed out food and water to neighbors, and children drew pictures of Earth's defenders, hanging them on walls to give hope. Underground, the council made a hard choice. "We cannot win by force alone," the older woman said. "We must show the Empire that they are not just fighting an army. They are fighting the spirit of every human on this planet." The engineer had an idea. "Let's broadcast everything live to the whole galaxy. Show them who we are and why we fight. Maybe it will remind the Empire's own soldiers that we are people, not just targets." So, while the Empire rained fire from above, Earth's defenders set up cameras everywhere. They showed brave doctors helping the wounded, firefighters running into danger, and families comforting each other. The world saw not only the battle, but the courage, the kindness, and the unity of humanity. Alien soldiers on the Imperial ships watched the broadcasts on secret screens. Some began to wonder if they were truly on the right side. One Imperial pilot, after seeing a group of human children sing a song of hope in a bomb shelter, hesitated before firing his weapon. He turned away at the last moment, letting the humans live. The Empire noticed the drop in fighting spirit. Captain Varlock ordered his officers to destroy the human broadcasts, but the humans always found new ways to send the signal. It seemed like Earth was everywhere, on every screen, in every corner of the galaxy. Then something unexpected happened. A small Imperial ship was shot down, crashing in a forest outside a quiet town. The humans rushed to the wreck, expecting an ambush. Instead, they found a wounded Imperial pilot, a bird-like alien, frightened and hurt. At first, the townspeople were afraid, but one nurse stepped forward, knelt beside the alien, and began to treat his wounds. "You are not our enemy," she said softly. "We do not hate you." News of this act spread quickly. On the Empire's dreadnought, some soldiers began to question their orders. "Maybe the humans are not monsters after all," one whispered. As the day turned to night, the Empire's attack slowed. Captain Varlock knew his forces were tired, confused, and running low on supplies. "Send a message to the Emperor," he ordered. "Tell him Earth is not like the other worlds. They do not break." On Earth, people began to hope. The engineer stood on a hill outside the city looking up at the sky. He saw the distant flashes of battle, but he also saw the lights of homes and the smiles of children playing in the streets. For a moment, he felt a deep sense of pride. The council met one more time that night. "They may come again, and in greater numbers," said the general. "But we have shown them that we will never give up." The older woman nodded. "And we have shown the galaxy that there is another way." In distant corners of space, rebels and dreamers saw the humans' courage. Secret messages traveled from world to world, inspiring others to hope for freedom. By morning, the Empire's fleet pulled back to regroup. Captain Varlock sat in his dark command room, thinking about everything he had seen. For the first time, he wondered if the Empire's power was truly unbreakable. On Earth, a new day began. People cleared the rubble, repaired homes, and comforted the grieving. The battle was not over, but the spirit of Earth had already changed the galaxy. And above, the stars seemed a little brighter, as if the whole universe was watching. In the cold reaches of space above Earth, the Empire's fleet floated like dark clouds. Captain Varlock paced the shining metal floors of the dreadnought, his mind heavy with worry. For days, his ships had tried every strategy he knew, but the humans would not break. The news from the Emperor was clear. Earth must be brought to its knees, no more failures. Failure was not allowed in the Empire, but Varlock had seen the human spirit, stronger than any weapon. On Earth, morning brought both hope and sadness. The night's damage could be seen everywhere. Cracked roads, broken windows, and tired faces. Yet, life continued. People lined up to help clear the streets and rebuild homes. Soldiers checked on their neighbors, and children brought water to workers. No one talked about giving up. There was too much to do, too many people counting on each other. The Council of Leaders met in their underground room, now filled with maps and screens. The older woman led the meeting with a calm voice. "The Empire is not finished," she said. "Their ships are regrouping. We must be ready for anything." The general nodded. "We have used many tricks, but we cannot win every battle with just machines. We must find another way." The engineer had been quiet, thinking deeply. Now he spoke up. "We have friends out there," he said, pointing to messages from other worlds. "Aliens are watching us. Some are scared, but some want to help. What if we send a secret message to those who believe in freedom? Maybe we're not alone in this fight," the council agreed. While they planned defenses, a small team of experts worked on a new message, coded so the Empire would not find it. It was short but powerful. "To all who wish for freedom, Earth stands with you. Help us, and together we can change the galaxy." The message was sent through hidden channels. On distant planets, rebels and secret supporters received it. Some were small groups living in shadows. Others were officials inside the Empire who quietly hated their rulers. Hope started to spread. A few brave aliens began to sabotage Empire supply lines, slow down orders, and send information to Earth. Meanwhile, on the Dreadnought, Captain Varlock's officers reported strange problems. "Our fuel shipments are delayed. Our codes are being copied. Someone is helping the humans," a nervous officer said. Varlock clenched his fists. "Find the traitors," he growled. But in his heart, he feared the Empire was losing its grip. As days passed, Earth's defenders grew stronger. Human engineers and alien friends built new shields and clever devices. They learned how to jam the Empire's signals and even how to turn some of the Empire's own machines against them. Pilots from other worlds sent secret flight data, helping humans dodge the Empire's weapons. In return, Earth shared everything they learned, every trick, every code, every hope. The Empire tried to scare Earth again. They sent a massive ship over a city and broadcast the Emperor's voice, cold and powerful. "Humans, surrender now, or watch your cities burn." The older woman stood on a rooftop, cameras broadcasting her face to Earth and to hidden allies. In the galaxy, her voice was steady and clear. "We will never surrender. We stand for our world and for any who dream of freedom. Do your worst. We are not afraid." In homes, bunkers, and secret rooms across the stars, aliens cheered quietly. Some wept, remembering their own lost battles. Others decided in that moment to take action. Back in space, the Empire's armada began a new attack, bigger than ever before. Dreadnoughts rained fire, and the sky above Earth glowed with battle. But this time, the humans were ready. Shields held strong, and Earth's fighters moved in careful teams. They fought side by side with small alien craft, ships painted, with Earth's colors flown by those who had escaped the Empire. In the chaos, a strange thing happened. Some Empire ships began to hesitate. Their pilots received messages from friends, warning them not to attack civilians or to shut down their weapons at key moments. The Empire's forces started to fracture. A few ships even joined the fight. On Earth's side, breaking the Emperor's rules for the first time in history, Captain Varlock saw the disorder on his screens. "This cannot be," he shouted. "Bring all loyal ships together. We will crush their hope." But every order faced delay. Every officer was suspicious of betrayal. On Earth, the battle was fierce. Buildings shook, and the night sky was full of fire. Still, the people did not hide. They brought food and water to soldiers. They used every lesson learned in hard times, working together, trusting one another, never giving up. The engineer worked alongside human and alien friends, directing repairs and helping with secret attacks on the Empire's main ship. He saw that every small act of resistance, every jammed signal, every message sent made a difference. Suddenly, a message flashed on Earth's screens. "This is Captain Yira, of the Imperial Ship Shadow's wing. My crew refuses to fight innocent people. We surrender and offer to help Earth." Shock turned to celebration. More Empire ships began to surrender or quietly turn away. Varlock raged, but he could not stop the spreading wave of doubt and hope. The Emperor watched from his distant palace, his face growing darker with each report. If the Empire cannot crush one planet, then maybe it is not the Empire at all, he said softly, his voice trembling with anger. When dawn broke after the long night of battle, Earth was battered but unbeaten. Alien ships, now painted with both their home symbols and Earth's flag, flew in formation above the planet. For the first time, the Empire's armada retreated, leaving Earth in peace. In the council room, the leaders met as the sun rose. The older woman smiled, her face tired but full of pride. "We have done the impossible," she said. "But this is only the beginning. Others will need our help, just as we needed theirs." The engineer looked out the window at the new world, rising from the dust. "Maybe one day every planet will know what it's like to stand free," he said. And in distant corners of the galaxy, secret messages continued to spread. If Earth can stand, so can we. The Empire was not yet finished. But for the first time, the legend of their unbreakable rule had been shattered, and everywhere from small moons to shining cities, hope was alive. The days after the Empire's retreat were quiet, but filled with new energy. For the first time in living memory, Earth looked up at the stars without fear. Every news screen in every city showed the same images: battered buildings, smiling faces, and the strange sight of alien ships flying alongside human planes. For many, it felt like waking up from a long nightmare. The Council of Leaders met in the early morning, sunlight streaming into their room. Everyone looked tired, but hope was shining in their eyes. The older woman, who had become the voice of Earth's courage, stood at the front. "We have shown the Empire and the whole galaxy what it means to be free," she said. "But now, our real work begins." The engineer, whose ideas had helped change the war, nodded. "The Empire is hurt, but not broken. They may return, or try to punish us in other ways. We must help our friends across the stars. If we stand together, they cannot control us anymore." Messages from other worlds arrived daily. Some were simple: a word of thanks, a hidden smile, a symbol scratched in the dust of a distant moon. Others were more urgent: secret calls for advice, tools, or shelter. Earth had become a symbol, not just of resistance, but of hope. On a far-off planet, a small group of rebels listened to Earth's broadcasts. They replayed the video of the older woman's speech, passing it hand to hand in the shadows. "If Earth can do it, so can we," whispered a young alien, her voice shaking. Everywhere, quiet plans began to grow. Earth did not forget those who had helped them. Alien pilots who had switched sides were welcomed with respect and kindness. Families opened their doors to wounded allies, learning new words and new stories as they shared meals. Children drew pictures of humans and aliens together, hanging them in schools and on walls that had once been cracked by war. The Empire, far away in its cold palace, tried to show strength. The Emperor's advisors argued about what to do. Some demanded a new attack. Others whispered that the Empire's time was ending. "If we attack again and fail, we will lose everything," warned one old advisor. "If we let Earth's spirit spread, we lose our power anyway." The Emperor listened but did not decide. He knew the legend of the Empire's power was broken. In a day, more Empire officers reached out to Earth. They sent maps, warnings, and sometimes even technology. "We do not want to hurt innocent people," one message said. Teach us how you fight for freedom." The council answered every message, patient and wise. "Stand with your people," they wrote. "Help, if you can. Together, we are stronger." The humans and their new friends worked day and night. Engineers helped aliens fix ships or build defenses on their own worlds. Earth's scientists shared their hacking secrets, teaching others how to jam Imperial systems and send coded messages. A new network formed, a chain of free worlds each, one lighting a candle in the darkness. On Earth, life was not easy. Rebuilding took time and hard work. Some days old fears returned when rumors of the Empire spread. But the people remembered how they had stood together. Every small victory, every act of kindness, became another stone in the wall of freedom. The older woman often visited schools and hospitals, speaking to children and workers. She reminded them, "We did not win because we were the strongest, but because we believed in each other. Never let fear break you. Remember that hope spreads, farther than any weapon." The engineer traveled from city to city, teaching others how to keep their systems safe. He helped design new defenses and listened to young inventors with big dreams. In every place he visited, people asked about their friends in space. When will more come? How can we help them? What can we do next? He always answered the same: stand together, help each other, and never give up. Far away, on worlds hidden by the Empire's shadow, resistance began to grow. Small rebellions broke out. Imperial governors found their orders ignored or delayed. Secret meetings spread across star systems, and everywhere the story was the same. Earth stood up. Now we can, too. In the Empire's own fleet, change was happening. Some soldiers laid down their arms, refusing to fight innocent people. Others quietly sabotaged their own ships, slowing down attacks and leaking information. Trust inside the Empire was breaking, and fear no longer worked the way it used to. One night, a strange signal reached Earth's council. It was from an alien, world long thought lost, a planet whose people had vanished after the Empire's first attack many years before. The message was shaky, but clear. "We are alive. We saw your courage. We will rise again." The council cheered, and the older woman sent a reply: "We are with you. Freedom is for all." The emperor, alone in his great palace, watched as the empire changed. His guards were nervous, his advisors silent. The emperor thought about the first days of his rule, when all it took was a single threat to control a world. Now, one planet's courage had changed everything. On Earth, the day came to celebrate their freedom. People gathered in every city, lighting candles and hanging flags. Humans and aliens stood side by side, telling stories of bravery and hope. There were speeches, songs, and moments of silence for those who had been lost. The engineer stood with his friends, looking at the sky full of stars. The older woman spoke to the world. "We are not the Empire's subjects. We are friends, neighbors, and dreamers. Our freedom was not given. It was taken, together. Let our story travel the stars, so no one ever forgets what hope can do." And so it did. Messages of freedom and unity traveled from Earth to distant worlds, passing from hand to hand and heart to heart. The Empire could not stop the spirit that had begun. Years later, new worlds joined the chain of free planets. The Empire grew weaker, its old threats forgotten. Everywhere, people remembered how one small blue world had changed everything, simply by saying no. On clear nights, the people of Earth would look up and see new lights in the sky. Ships, from old allies and worlds once lost, now shining bright again. Children grew up knowing they could make a difference, no matter how strong the enemy seemed. And in the quiet of space, among the stars, the story of Earth's courage spread forever.